A lot of people don't realize the amazing creatures they pass by every day. In this video, I'm going to be exploring some of the species I was able to find in my own backyard in just an hour. I started by looking in a corner of my yard that has become a bit overgrown, perfect for finding small insects, spiders, and more. I usually start by looking at plants. The most obvious one here is the large siam weed, which has begun to grow very tall. Taking a closer look, most areas of new growth are hiding something. Many of these contain crab spiders in the family Thomisidae, poised in their signature stance just waiting to pounce on an unsuspecting ant or fly. Also on the plant is a plant bug, likely in the tribe Marini. These are in a group of insects known as the true bugs, in the suborder Heteroptera. They possess a piercing proboscis that they will use to feed on plants or on other arthropods. Nearby, a tiny ladybug walks about. I have seen these several times, but I haven't really arrived at an identification, my best guess being Diomus rosicolis. I also saw another ladybug, but this one's a larva. I'm not totally sure which species this one is. Also on the plant are parasitoid wasps, which may not represent most people's idea of a typical wasp. I think these two may be in the family Ignomonidae, though it can be a bit hard to tell. Looking around, another smaller plant becomes evident, Bidens alba. It's a very common weed in the area, and a favorite for pollinators and other arthropods. The first thing I saw was a leafhopper, an insect somewhat related to the previous plant bug. This one's in the genus Agalia, possibly Agalia nelsoni. Also visible are numerous flies, including the leaf miner flies in the family Agromyzidae. Flies in this diverse group lay their eggs in the leaves of plants, at which point the hatched larvae will mine through the leaf, creating visible burrows as they eat away from the inside. After pupating, they emerge as an adult. This fly, Dioxina pixiola, can also be found on this plant. Nearby, a plume moth in the family Pterophoridae lands. At rest, their wings fold up into thin structures resembling an inconspicuous bit of plant matter. While recording, it seems like a mosquito had been biting me and came to rest on a leaf to digest. This is most likely Aedes aegypti, the yellow fever mosquito. They are capable of transmitting several diseases, such as dengue fever, Zika, yellow fever, and more. However, mosquitoes must first pick up a disease from one host in order to transmit it to another, making transmission unlikely in areas of low disease prominence. I now choose to survey a large avocado tree in bloom. The first thing I see is what I assume to be Climacia areolaris, a species of insect in the interesting group of lacewings and antlions. Close by, I saw another example of the group, a typical green lacewing in the family Chrysopinae. As larvae, these insects have large hollow jaws capable of injecting irritating venom. They frequently decorate themselves with wax and miscellaneous debris as camouflage. On many other leaves, midges in the family Chironomidae can be found. These are relatives of mosquitoes, but do not bite, and will frequently form small swarms at dusk. By this time, night has fallen, and other animals are beginning to emerge, most notably spiders. This is a male stretch spider in the genus Tetranatha. To me, it appears he is looking for a mate, approaching the web of a female slowly while feeling around with his long legs. For most of the day, these spiders lay stretched out like a twig as camouflage. From what I have observed, they seem to build a new web every night, spinning it just before sunset. Spiders are not the only ones to come out at nightfall. Here, a group of ants called Camponotus sonatus, the Caribbean banded carpenter ant, escort their queen, using a fence as a highway across the yard. Most queen ants are born with wings, using them to fly away from the colony and establish a new one elsewhere. When they have found a suitable location, they will tear off their wings and begin laying eggs. This example is a queen seaside rover ant, Brachymyrmex obscurior, removing her wings after deciding my knee would make a great home. On this carpenter ant, you can see the attachment points of where her wings used to connect. The final sighting of the evening was this fly, likely to be a bristlefly in the family Tachinidae. This extremely diverse group of flies can look pretty familiar, or less familiar, and are occasional parasites of other insects.